Well, there were multiple police dash cams at the scene of this and recorded the arrest of this guy. But when the Boulder City Police Department submitted its video and audio, there was material that was taken out of that was recorded on the other. So they're thinking somebody edited this thing.
I'm going to show you what George was talking about. The people who do this won't just edit the part of the recording they want to cover up. They'll also try to hide any clues that might lead you back to the truth. There's an interesting conversation that takes place 3 minutes into the Glenn recording, 2 minutes after I was first grabbed. What's so interesting about it? It plays back very differently on another officer's recording. Another officer standing just a few feet away. Here's the conversation as it plays back on the Glenn recording.
Am I being detained? Yeah, and arrested. You're not being detained. What am I being arrested for? Obstructing for a pedestrian in the roadway, obstructing traffic, and resisting arrest. Excuse me?
Now here's the same dialogue as it plays back on the Trooper Higgins recording. As you can see, there are two questions you can hear very clearly on the Higgins recording that you can't on the Glenn recording. If you listen very carefully, and you know exactly what to look for, you can just barely hear these questions on the Glenn recording. So the audio hasn't been removed entirely. But it does seem as though that dialogue is much quieter than it should be. Could that be the result of editing? I found another product from Audionamics that would allow someone to do exactly that.
If you work with dialogue or production recordings, ADX SVC is your new best friend. The ADX Speech Volume Control plugin provides independent volume control over both speech and background elements within a mono or stereo track.
Sense of value took, for the time being, possession of human mind.
So if an editor could do that, why would they want to? The goal is to get you to doubt your own memory and your own sanity. It's gaslighting in its purest form. They'll chop up your dialogue to make you look crazier.
Being detained? Yeah, and arrested.
And if you happen to leave yourself any reminders of what actually happened, they'll take those away from you too.
He walks across the parking lot, right up to me, doesn't say one word, grabs me by the arm, and he starts dragging me down the sidewalk.
There was material that was taken out of that was recorded on the other.
So I went hands-on with him. The fight was on.
One of the questions I got when I first submitted this story to NV Copblock was, I had a script for this part of the video, but I think it would be better if I just talked to you. One common question that I got when I first took this story to NV Copblock was, why would they do something like this to you? I mean, why would someone do something so egregious as edit a tape for something as simple as a person crossing the street in a crosswalk? And that's a very good question, so I'd like to help you understand. And to do that, I need to explain a little bit about myself. I was born with a condition that dramatically alters the way I experience the world. Typically, it's explained as a kind of cross-wiring between sensations. One thing makes you experience another. There are different estimates as to how common this is in the population, but by all accounts, it's exceedingly rare. And on top of that, there are different manifestations of the condition, different ways it affects people. I myself, I guess you could say I have several different forms of it. I see my emotions. I see music. I see the words that go through my mind. When I speak or listen to words or think them, they appear written out, typed out. It's something called ticker tape. And if they affect me strongly enough, they are written out in color, different colors. Each letter, or for the most part, each letter has their own color. And so you can imagine this makes it easier for me to remember certain types of things. Specifically words and the precise order of words. Something I've always known about myself is that I just don't really get things wrong. And when I do remember something, it lasts for a long time. There's another form of the condition that I inhabit, I guess. Something I've never seen documented in another person. I see something. I see the shape of thought, or the structure of it. Thinking, I think in everyone, is accompanied by visual imagery. But there is a layer beyond that, an architecture to it, that allows it to exist. And for whatever reason, I can perceive that. It's so beautiful. I'll show you some of what I mean. These are my attempts to document the phenomenon going back, some of them going back over 10 years. And some more recent examples. I took a class on Wittgenstein so I could diagram the concepts as they appear to me. But anyway, I guess I'm hoping to convey two salient points, which is that, the first is that I have no idea how rare someone like me actually is. And the second is that the condition that makes me unique also greatly enhances my memory. You might think it would be easy for you to defeat this kind of tampering if they did it to you. But I don't think you can really appreciate the level of doubt you face. Unless you've been in that situation, I don't think you can understand what it's like. You know, you're attacked. You're put in a chokehold. And there's a tape of what happened to you. You remember what happened to you. And then 2 weeks later, you get the tape back. And the words are different on it. All you have is a memory in your mind. And you have a tape. You know, memories can change. They can fade. A tape never changes. And so you listen to it again and again. And what starts to happen, it starts to fool you. Because you're wondering, is there any way I could have remembered wrong? And you start to believe that that's what happened. If I didn't know exactly what I was, I'm sure that's what would have happened to me. And I'm equally sure that that's what happened to everyone who came before me. They just got tricked eventually, and after the weeks and the months, they just moved on. And that's why I knew I had to do this. So, I hope that helps you understand. It's not that they had invented an elaborate conspiracy just to target me for crossing the road. Rather, they did this to so many people that they finally got someone like me on the other end of it. They thought this was such a negligible risk that they would do it for anything. Even someone crossing the street in a crosswalk. Up until now, this has been an invisible crime. When I first started out, all those years ago, when I first found out that maybe I was the only one who saw these types of shapes, all I wanted was to show them to other people. I just wanted the world to know what I was. And so, maybe I've done that now. I think that's enough. I'm going to play you a selection from a previous version of the expose, and then we'll return to the scripted portion of the video. How easy it makes it to remember. How hard it is to forget. But I can't see these colors if I'm saying this. And I can't see these colors if I'm hearing this.
Come here. Come here.
That's why their tricks didn't work on me. That's why it was different this time around. When I faced off against John Glenn that morning, I didn't know that he had a secret power. But he didn't realize that I had one too. His secret power was that it could rewrite the truth. My secret power is that I can't. I'm not the first one they did this to. I'm the first one who caught them.